Hello, everyone. Welcome to another session of Till Talks. Today, we already have a lot many insights to cover, a lot many questions to discuss, and for sure, a new week with a new speaker. I am Nihil Kumar, co-founder and CEO of Brand Expert Founder. So today, again with us, we have our brand strategist, Rheanne Quadros, with us, and another fresh speaker. This time from the fashion, beauty, and luxury segment. Narmada Guha Roy, who is the founder at the Value Layer and brings a ample amount of expertise within the beauty, fashion, and D2C industry. So I welcome both of you. And Narmada, thank you very much for giving us your valuable time. I'd like to understand more about
Thank you, Neil, for the introduction. I'm Narmada, and I've started my own branding company called the Value Law. And for the past 5 years, I have been into fashion, branding, D2C, and have worked across companies from menswear to kidswear to women's wear, lifestyle brands, and even some FMCG brands.
that. Right. Well, that's nice to hear. And how about Rian? We get to hear more from your background.
So thanks, Neil. Narmada, it's great having you here. Well, just to corroborate, I've been in the luxury and tech sector for about 2 years, working in marketing and getting into branding. I look at the design, the positioning, the communication, all of these aspects when it comes to clean and clear design.
Hmm. Okay. I think then, of course, several different types of insights is what we can cover today within this conversation. We already have D2C aspect in one way, the other way we have another segment, which makes it much more diverse within the conversation. But Narmada, so I had been very much curious on this question. I really wanted to discuss this with you. That when I actually went through your complete background earlier, and I see that there has been a complete diversification within the types of brands you have worked. So now, what has been the unique positioning, the approach of your unique positioning when you actually build brands or you manage them or you make them perform in a crowded market? What's your process of getting clients? What is your process of getting on that edge? How do you do that?
So, I've worked primarily with D2C brands, so it's direct to consumer. So basically, in other words, the manufacturers themselves are selling directly to the customers. So they have their own story to tell because there are no middlemen. So they're directly approaching. So when it comes to uniqueness, I feel there is a misconception around the word itself. They
Hmm.
think it's that one maybe magical factor that is very different from the rest of the world. But which is not true because, especially in fashion or even FMCG, your product is like any other product. Like a t shirt is a t shirt. So, what will make it different is a combination of things. It would be a combination of what are you aspiring to do with your business, like how does your internal team work, why did you start, what is happening in the market, what kind of customer you're targeting. So when you combine all this thing together, automatically each brand or each business will be different. No person is going to be in the same field, and if they're in the same field, they're not a brand. If they have the same story, they are very product centric. They are not telling any story or, like, people can relate to or remember with. So when it comes to find that you play with this combination, it takes time. It definitely takes time, tweaking and all that. But the aim is to distill all this to one single message or
Right.
a theme. It's not like verbal message, but a theme that everything about the brand, whatever content or expression or wherever you appear, you should be able to relate it back. Or like you internally you should be able to relate it back, and a customer, no matter where they like come across the business with, they should be able to recognize, oh, okay, so this builds trust, and ultimately which will lead to sales. So how would you do this? Like, you have been into branding for so long, you've worked with across so many companies at different stages, and what is uniqueness to you? How do you find it? How
Hmm.
do you like distill it?
Okay. So I think now I'd like to hear this from Rheanne first, prior I take over, because then this way my approach would be more of a consultant instead of being the execution maker.
Mhm.
So Rheanne, I'd like to understand from you.
When it comes to D2C, I would say it's very different from the aspect of what we've seen so far, right? Because D2C has a lot of uh, product related positioning. Whereas what we've worked on is definitely it's a product, but it comes to ultimately the experience that's created, right? With the addition of the storytelling. So we look at, okay, this is the final product that comes, but what comes along with it? So how that story can be built, how that experience can be built. So Narmada, that's a good insight, I think, to what you've given. But for me personally, D2C is very different when it comes to luxury or even the service segments that I've dealt with, right? For example, we work along a lot along the sides of experience. So creating a whole kind of journey that happens alongside the service that is coming or the product that is being sold right in the end is a very crucial and important point. For example, currently, the last project that I worked on individually was a esports company. Right. So this esports company, it's not a physical product that you're giving out. Right. When I had to study about the target audience, the kind of customer segments that was coming to this, I had to understand what they really enjoyed. So building the entire process of understanding from a game point of view or a kind of more, I would say, tech grungy point of view, it's totally different from a luxury standpoint or any other segment that I've been in. But it's very important that even in this segment that there's an experience being built. So Neil, what do you think? I think from a consulting point of view, you've had a more of a offhands experience. So what's your take?
Well, the first thing which I generally have seen, people want to bring their product out there without understanding why they want to bring, and they themselves do not have an answer. I generally have seen multiple, D2C brands coming into play prior having a definitive approach of why they are even a player on the ground. They believe that because every other person who looks alike them holds certain skill to build that product or a service, they can even come into play. But when you're actually there on the ground, every other player should have a why, a purpose. And when they are not aware about their why, they aren't able to basically nurture the value to the end customer. Because it's simple. If you do not have a why, the customer themselves will create a why about. And then that why about you is not actually the why you want to show. Maybe. So it's very simple that if you aren't aware about what you are bringing to the table, there will be a continuous misinterpretation between your positioning, your messaging, and then let's say tomorrow you go to an agency, you ask them that how about you just help us do all of these things, or let's say you get yourself a creative in-house team.
Hmm.
The creative in-house team will even ask you what you want yourself to look like, and then generally answers come up like, we just want some good engagement, we just want some good sales, we just want some people to get much more exposure about us. But the main question comes, let's say there's a perfume brand. So this perfume brand, there are thousands of perfumes out there. Every other perfume just talks about very generic stuff, which is long lasting, made from organic ingredients, unisex, 24-hour like durability it holds. So the moment you wear it and you just go this and that, all of these are like desiring standpoints. But what is the end value you want to bring to the customer? What is the differentiation between your perfume versus other perfumes out there? It could be firstly that are you using some ingredients, some certain elements which differentiate your process of manufacturing that perfume when you compare that with others, which is a first differentiator. Second differentiator, how do you position it within a market? The price point. Is it a value wear? Is it a midline wear? Or is it a luxury fragrance that a person can wear, which denotes them to be much more unique instead of something which is much more long lasting? You will see that people who are in their value section, customers, D2C customers, especially who are in their value driven economic section, they look forward to not something which is much more unique on the first hand. Instead, they look forward to something which is long lasting. That the moment they wear it, how about it should just stay on them for approximately a day. This so this standpoint needs to be understood. Majorly, brands try to sell to everyone.
Hmm.
They just simply launch a value product. And then tomorrow they think that now this value product is selling well. How about we just increase the pricing of this product under a new tag, under a new sub brand? Right now we have ABC. Tomorrow we launch XYZ and just place a premium line of this. The positioning segment is different. Presently, you have been in the value segment. Now you're trying to put yourself in a different segment. This somewhere confuses the end buyers. There are multiple brands who have been doing it. And they are, of course, locals. Like Indian brands are there. There are multiple Western brands too who have been doing it. And this somewhere makes people feel a disconnect. Okay, that these people are trying to sell everywhere. At the end, they are catering no USP. And then people start generating that interpretation of a particular USP based on what they get as an experience, which is not true, which is something you're delivering, which is something which they have created. But that's not actually it. And this refrains this company to grow, expand, and actually stand out within that particular market as an individual or an independent approach or an independent entity. 4, 5 players then come up under the same price segment, and then you get lost for that. 5 different brands kept next to each other, and the customer simply pulls any of these somewhere, or maybe one of these which they have tried. A continuous disconnect comes. So this is my approach in which I have realized people have been doing a plethora of mistakes of understanding the brand. And then next one comes as the wow. Now again the same. What are you bringing to the table? Do you know this as a founder, as an executive, or as or as a senior member within that company? What are you bringing to the table? Why are you bringing it to the table? Where have you been bringing all this process from, all these ingredients from, and how you have been building that end deliverable? If you have answers to all of these, the crystal clear positioning can be made. Else, of course, if you cannot deliver a message, your audience will. What do you guys think about this segment? How has been your experience working with D2C brands? Have you ever seen any of these of such myths people face generally, or any common mistakes which people generally make when they talk about building D2C brands from scratch at least?
You nailed it. Like the biggest problem is, especially with D2C brand, because they are manufacturing their product and as a operation level, at the most basic level, they're dealing with product all the time. So their ideas end there. And they think like maybe they are doing the most premium manufacturing, they're utilizing like, the latest technology and all, and they become very product centric. But for the end customer, it doesn't matter. They don't care about what machinery you have used, what kind of investment you've done. It matters, but not to them. And to convince them that, you have to build your why, you have to present a story, you have to present something for them to relate to. They are not obsessed with your product, they are being bombarded with multiple products all the time. Like, you cannot count, it's so inevitable. Like, road billboards are there, like small posters are there, social media, I mean, now it's a game, like how to stop the scrolling and everything. Ads, when you run ads, they're like, oh, okay, the trust factor goes down and all that. So when you're trying to tell them that story matters, especially in today's world, it's not your product. By product at the end needs to perform, at the
Yeah.
end product needs to perform. Without it, you will not be able to grow your business. But
Unless
even
your
for,
story is value, it needs to
yes,
perform. Yeah.
yes, but to even get them to use the product, story
Hmm.
needs to come first, the
Right.
attention needs to be brought in. So that is the biggest problem I feel I face with D2C brands. How to convince them that you cannot just, like, as you said, start off just, to launch, check out the market, and, just test the market with a low value product. But then so here's something that they always say. We are a premium product, but they will test the market with the lowest level. So positioning doesn't happen. You're trying to achieve somewhere, but you are targeting here, and then you are trying to climb up there. So there is a big disconnection in this. And to convince them that this is not how it's done, if you are going to appear premium, if you're appearing mass, if you're appearing luxury, there are already set languages that you have to play to, and on that build your own. Like, if you, like, for example, luxury, one biggest factor would be the space, the kind of space, negative space, or just like, there is a sense of grandeur, breathing that needs to be given. But because they want to do that, but then they are not going to invest in it. They're going to be in a small, like, let's say, a product. Okay. They're going to just launch. They will just make a random packaging of maybe maximum brown paper or something to appear sustainable and all that. And they'll send it off.
Yeah.
There'll be no experience created. There'll be
Yeah.
no unboxing experience. There'll be no delivery experience. There'll be no someone, like, the professional care is like, if some problem happens, like someone is answering the phone, nothing will happen of that sort. So that disconnect will happen and it fails.
Hmm.
So yeah, I
That
completely
that
agree.
also reminds me, what you're talking about is that I won't take names, but there is this leather suitcase and leather goods brand, right? Very high end, based from the north. It's quite popular. Their online marketing is top notch. Story is there, visual is there, everything. And we had ordered these leather engraved satchels from there. It was customized. It was a large quantity. We had an MOQ, and they came to us maybe because it was an MOQ in these brown cardboard boxes. So on one side, it was like, okay, it's a sustainability impact, and once you reach the higher levels, you are pushing out these many items. You can't really make a customized package for everything. But on the other side, it's like you're opening it, you want to feel good about opening it, and it's a cardboard box that you could find at maybe like a milk store. And it was like, you will really understand that there is so much more attention to detail, even not just for luxury products, but any high end products, any premium products. There needs to be attention to detail, and a
Yes.
lot of founders or a lot of creators forget that this is there unless they are on the receiving end. Unless they are receiving their own product or a competitor's product in the same line, they don't understand how much attention of detail has to actually be there. So,
Exactly.
Similarly, I just get another thing in my head which I was planning to share. That is, if you would see in this beauty sector, nowadays it has become very, very vague that these three, four words every other brand is trying to put within their advertising, within their, I would say, brand statement. For example, skincare brands talk about experience clean beauty. What is clean beauty? Do you have a crystal clear understanding what is clean beauty? People do not look forward to clean beauty. People look forward to challenges they are facing. People look forward to the dry skin they have been facing, oily skin they have been facing. They want to fix the acne prone skin they already are facing. No one wants to look like a plastic generated face. No one wants clean beauty. Then, backed by science. Even water is backed by science. How you have backed it by science? The water I am drinking already holds science in there. And if we get rid of science, I would say 90 to 95% of the world is vanished. The bottle in which a normal product comes up is made of plastic. It even holds science. Because the word science looks fancy, backed by science, makes no connect. The end goal, everyone is, as a customer, every other person is listening to the same thing. Get clean beauty. Get a product which is backed by science. Being very, very much transparent, even the natural body already has intense tons of science in there in itself. So how you're backing it by science? How is it different? What is the end differentiation, the end result of your the process, the statement which you have made, backed by science? And then, if you would see next, relying very much on paid ads, sales, run an ad, shoot a vague tagline, give problems that don't even exist. I already am happy with the perfume I wear. These companies come up and sell problems which already have been assumptions. Do you have a specific market research to it, to a challenge? No. Someone within their team said my perfume doesn't work well. A creative director came up, shot a campaign, started selling something. Problems are just being assumed. They aren't being well researched. And secondly, if they are being well researched, they aren't being well fed, well maintained and fixed. Lastly, advertisements are just, making end conversions happen. What about a community? People who haven't seen you, who haven't seen that advertisement, do they trust in you? These are one-time buyers, if you would generally realize. People look at an advertisement, they just get a desire, they buy their product, and then next time there are high chances they would never even choose. Because there was no crystal clear statement or the end function which was given. Is this thing helping me on my skin in what way? How is my skin being, a better version of itself? Was nowhere being showcased. And then if you would see consistently onto every other social media platform, a new story is being said. It's like multiple faces fouling over multiple stories. On Facebook, this brand is talking about something. On Instagram, there is a random model just jumping and pounding anything. Some quick transitions done for fluff and shot on an advertisement, buy it. There is no community. There is no well researched function. And then all vague messaging. And that's how majorly in multiple countries, not just India, such brands are actually fooling themselves, fooling customers, and it's just wastage of time. Uh, in a crystal clear form, it's just wastage of time, wastage of trust. And then when the end customer gets hundreds of options out there, he or she is not able to trust either of them. It's just like that. If I just have dry skin, I already have problems which no one is actually catering, but there are statements hundreds of players are shooting their advertisements with. Crystal clear skin, Korean skin, this skin, that skin. Ask me, I don't even want that. I just want my skin to actually get this particular function as a fix. So no specific things are being delivered. It's just fluff out there, just for the sake of creativity, making quicker sales. What do you guys think?
Actually, while you're talking about research, and clearly you have like highlighted the importance of a good research. So my question is, how do you do this research? Like, what are the things you should consider while researching? And after that, what kind of insights, like what is an insight and how to extract them? So that,
Hmm.
at the end, I can get that direct,
Hmm,
like I can get the correct messaging, I can solve the right real problem.
hmm. Okay. I'm sure you would have seen this thing very, very much intensely. That is, all of our products have been well researched,
Hmm.
went through lab tests. If I, as a customer, would like to see these tests, where can I see them? As a
Hmm.
customer, I completely have the right to see those tests. Maybe I am not the best person to understand that, but at least I have the right to see what were the results in that test. Maybe a screenshot of it can help me understand under what conditions were those tests made. This way, a person is, and as a customer, if you would see, we completely have complete right to see whatever we are buying comes from what standpoint. Then second, as mentioned, assumptions are being made that this is a challenge. Let's build a product on. If there have been surveys created, if there were actual surveys done, where are true results publicly available for that brand? This ABC brand went through 500 people checking out what is your major issue with your skin, let's say. 250 females, 250 males, a segregation. Then polls. Whatever research was done, where is it available? How can I, as a customer, I completely have the right to see that. No, hardly brands are showing it. A main disconnect. I'm not saying that brands aren't showing it, but majorly 90+% aren't even doing it. They are just putting a tag. This lab test this lab test was done. I have no access to it.
Hmm.
That making people in real life feel that product, the true value of that product. On a digital screen, I'm able to continuously see, okay, this product has this, that. Are there any actual communities out there? Any free trials out there where I can go experience and feel, okay, this thing actually works? Because as a customer, if I'm able to talk, if I'm able to actually talk about it, my voice will be trusted more. Instead, if a brand is basically talking about all of those sections, if I, as an end customer, shoot a video talking, this was me, this is who I am today, the time span has been this. Where are those real people? Where are those real people who actually do not have the best facial appearance out there. Why companies generally are showcasing the best faces out there? Those aren't the end consumers. An acne prone face wash is being showcased by a model who completely has crystal clear skin.
Hmm.
I cannot relate with it. I already have acne on my face and it's clearly visible. I cannot relate with a man who completely looks all smooth. And then she is right there or she is right there talking about that the moment you take this and you get this. Okay, I get this. From which stage? Where is this? Where is first stage? Is there any value which I can gain from that? Secondly, apparel brands you see, D2C, another. Activewear is always showcasing women who have the most perfect bodies out there. Where is belly fat? Where are those actual bodies which women can really relate to?
Also, to add to your point, Neil, it's like a lot of the marketing campaigns talk about the different sizes that these active wears this brand has. They say like you have ranging from extra small to extra large, but rarely do we actually see it being portrayed
Hmm.
on the two ends of the segments,
Hmm.
like the whole spectrum, right? Like a lot of times the visuals all have like picture perfect bodies, but then on the size range you can see that there is a small, there is an extra large. I mean, very rarely have I seen activewear or uh, a skin tight, body fit clothes showing the whole range.
Hmm.
And when they do, it's a huge thing. Like it goes viral because people put the effort into showing it. So many brands don't actually do that,
I
even though it's
can
really good.
I
Hmm.
can give an inside thing, especially because we are talking about sizing here. So
Hmm.
what happens? The launch, like the first launch,
Hmm.
would have all the sizes, and there'll be different ratios to each size. Maybe let's say like one piece in extra small, two pieces in small, and the medium sizes like medium L, XL would have the maximum quantities.
Hmm.
XL, triple XL, 4XL. I mean, sorry, double XL, triple XL, 4XL would have 111.
Hmm.
And then they'll go into the market.
Hmm.
And what happens in the market, especially in the Indian market, these end products, they don't sell out because these are very like conscious people of their body. So they will not wear this kind of active wear that are portrayed on advertisement. They're going to wear one t-shirt or one harem pant or something like that, maximum tighter, but there'll be a full body t-shirt. So the sets or something, those they will not sell out. So when they'll come in the next round in the production, now they're sitting on inventory, which is a lot of money,
Hmm.
dead stock. They're not being sell out, they'll get cancelled. But the ads will keep running to attract. But then when you'll go, they'll either say like
Sold down.
they're sold out or they actually don't have the inventory or they just don't even go into production.
Hmm.
It happens even in the skincare brand. Like if you think about foundation,
Hmm.
you will see foundation of the fair skin and the range that goes. But Indian diaspora again will have browns, shades of browns,
Hmm.
blacks.
Hmm.
Like people have dark skin here. Don't like I don't know why they assume that
It's
only Africans have dark skin. You go
hmm.
down south, you will see like the range of dark skin and you want foundations. But again, they don't sell. So every time maybe there'll come a brand, they'll launch with all this thing, like we have all the shades and all that, but they will not sell out just because of the mentality. And it takes actually a lot. I would say it takes a lot of educational content and going out there. It takes time. So yeah, that's something we are constantly, especially in the fashion industry, we are facing a
Hmm.
problem with
I
sizings.
recently, in 2025, I worked with an activewear brand from a different nation where the end goal, where the founder mentions one thing that she wants a premium activewear brand. She has been built it. And the segmentation, again, was that she wants to showcase her product line to women because she already comes from a women activist background. and she has been into multiple leadership roles with women empowerment and such things. So she wanted to showcase her activewear as something which nurtures feminine confidence and which makes women feel the way they are despite their color, size, shape. And the way I approached this brand building process was firstly, not showcasing women who are picture perfect. The world already has seen intents of it. You just search for simply any activewear product and you would get the most perfect bodies out there. As the end user, I cannot relate with. So the first touch point was now because she wanted this pricing to be somewhere midway. She never wanted to showcase it on a very high end because she wanted the affordability to not very less, even because of certain segments which were in that country. So now she mentions the factor that what all challenges could be there, which was a task for us based on the market research. My team and I did. We realized one of the biggest reasons why women in that country aren't preferring activewear is firstly, of course, that's a global issue even at places, lack of confidence. Because every other brand is bringing the best boys out there. Secondly, the fabric which is being used is not compatible with the climate conditions. It's extremely sweaty, which is why generally polyester or clothing which makes women feel or the skin feels much more warmer. So it's not compatible with the local parameters. Now, these two things had to be revamped, which when we did the research, as you were mentioning, that how this research actually is done and how it comes into play. So after doing both of these researches, I recommended the founder to firstly think on a fabric or a segment which makes this particular segment a USP. It is made for local climatic conditions. So you are not feeling sweat. Hardly you would see people talking about sweat and climatic conditions within activewear. They talk about it gives you the best fit. It doesn't give you any discomfort. Even sweat itself is a discomfort.
Yeah.
Even fabric, which actually, all the time irritates, especially when it gets wet due to sweat. Rashes happen. Is it compatible with the skin type, the local skin type?
Hmm.
If the brand is global, is it compatible with the, the local surroundings of that particular area? The skin type of those people. These are the segments which need to be worked on. Instead of talking about you get the best curves, you get the best fit, people really do not look forward to at all times. And I'm not saying that everyone does that, but majorly people where the positioning was being done. The positioning of this product is to empower women instead of making women feel picture perfect in front of the mirrors the moment they hit everyone. So, firstly, better fabric needs to be worked on. Secondly, what about these women who already have babies, who already have kids? They have to take care of those kids as kids may just spill anything on their mom, the ones who already are two in their toddler stages. Is this fabric helping them? Second, research part, which was talked upon, and then the brand was positioned this. Then, women who already are working, women who already are, let's say, even homemakers too, they need flexibility because they have to do a lot of rush and run all through the house or maybe at their workplace. Is this particular fabric flexible, compatible enough to help them with all that rush and run? Third point, which came. Fourth, in their busy schedules, Women aren't able to take care of themselves very, very well. So now, what we did in there was, you would have seen the size tag on every single product. Instead of using the size tag, which generally talks about machine wash only or this and that, instead of doing that, the approach which we made there was firstly making it much more connecting to people. Right after the size, we gave this thing, we wiped off completely all those segments which were like machine one. Instead, there was a messaging on every single product which had a different message, which said, eat your greens, hydrate yourself in every few minutes. This was the messaging which was basically tagged on the design of that particular product. Then, exercise regularly. It it is not something that is being imposed onto people, but people are able to feel it. Women are able to feel that, okay, this brand basically does care about a community building something. Otherwise, making it just a fluff, we care about women empowerment. Another one, we care about sustainability. Hardly do. Brands who basically talk about we care about sustainability. In the modern world, it just looks fancy. Hardly companies are doing it. If you are, is it actually on the end product you have? How? Can I get to understand the process, how this product is sustainable? So, of course, now, as I mentioned about the women empowerment thing, the message this way went very, very clear and was able. Then, another next step offline, when she wanted something, that how this product can basically connect with people. I asked her, how about we run a specific campaign and you already are within a circle where you are a leader with women empowerment? How about you invite all of these people, all these ladies out there for a morning run? And this is not any marathon run. It is a community run where all these women can basically get to have a chit chat with each other, wearing the product which you have built for them. Make them feel it. Just make them feel it. And of course, to an extent, let's say 20 people. So we chose 20 people. Okay. Give them that product, ask them their sizes, offer them that product. And the top three people will get another pair as a present or as a winning award. That way, people are able to actually feel it. Those women are from different shapes, sizes, and even age groups. Now, generally, activewear comes in the segment, okay, after 30, a woman cannot wear. Generally, people think after 30, the moment I touch 30, and I may not have the best body out there, I may not even face myself in the mirror. Women of more than 55 years of age were a part of it. From 20 till 55. Different grandmothers, mothers, daughters. A community, when it makes people connect with each other, that way it is able to flourish together. And that campaign went that well in that country, which, mm, so when I had spoken with this founder, she tells me that more than 100 plus orders came the very same day. Zero paid advertising. Zero paid advertising. And people will trust this. People will trust your mom, our moms will trust those moms who have been wearing that, feeling comfortable despite their shape, size, and color. They will not connect with someone who is picture perfect and is not at all approachable.
So I think like you had a full workflow. I think you had to put your mind kind of in the shoes of a woman, I would say, Neil. Like in this scenario, you have basically thought from right from the start and right till the end of what they would enjoy, what they would like. And especially this being a fashion or a product brand when it comes to clothing articles, it's like a complete different mind shift, right? That you had to have. What
Absolutely.
I wanted to ask for between the both of you, since you're talking about D2C brands, now we've already talked about fashion and apparel. What are some other brands that you guys have worked with, and how are they different from each other in terms of not only the target audience, but the positioning between each of the niches? Like, suppose you have 5 D2C kind of industries that you've worked around, right? And maybe if you guys could explain which one was your favorite and why.
Well, I'd like to hear more from
Okay. So the most recent one I'm working on has been like I'm really enjoying the project. The best part about entering a new industry is the fresh perspective you can bring. It's
Hmm.
maybe sometimes it's a little counterintuitive to think because you usually aim for expertise in
Hmm.
that field. But
Hmm.
what happens that once you get into a field too much,
Hmm.
you kind of already know how it works, and automatically you make blocks of what is possible and what is not possible, and you don't like it stops the process of thinking out of the box.
Hmm.
So when you enter a new field, you're new, you're fresh, you're understanding everything from scratch, so you come with an added industry, like how that industry operates. You can maybe like incorporate elements of that into this new one. So the one I was working on was tea.
Hmm.
I'm personally a big tea lover, but a very specific tea. But here I was entering like a CTC tea, like the chai,
Hmm.
which like you won't think too much about it because you find chai everywhere. But it was fascinating how we were trying to position this brand because it sits in two fields. Chai can never come across as a luxury item because
Hmm.
the entire India is kind of used to the tapri chai.
Hmm.
Yet you have good quality tea. Like you would want to be able to enjoy. You won't want to go to the street side every day. You would want to make it at your home also because you do. People do. So to position it as an everyday premium has been kind of, I would say, a very interesting experience because it comes down to, again, it comes down to building a community. It can't, like, you want it to be relatable to a very certain extent, and it's about tea lovers because you cannot target everyone. It has to be tea lovers who want to, like, it sits between people who want to appreciate but also don't want to like spend so much. Like, otherwise, tea sits at another extreme. Like, you have the luxury trees, like, that gets exported usually, or you
Hmm.
have the street tapri chai. So to find this middle position, it's been like a great exercise, I would say, for
Hmm.
me as even a branding person. Like, to come across, so the key we realized is not
Hmm.
only with the tea, it actually comes down to packaging, talking to people.
Yeah.
It wasn't the product. It
Hmm.
was like they want to feel that opening experience. They don't want one plastic cover. They would want, like, a Ziploc bag or a metal container. And if they can have that, and from which they're taking out chai, they don't care what is the product inside. It's just the packaging. The chai needs to perform, but it's the packaging. So the game, we realized, it was more to do with that.
Hmm.
And when it comes to packaging, so now you automatically realize that this is a very tactile thing. It's not something that would work that well online. It's not a digital. If we were first, we went on with like it would be a digital experience. But digital is just to make aware that the brand exists. But what we would need to focus on is the offline expansion to make people aware so they can see it, they can feel it. And again, tea, another insight we found is that tea is something that people don't change. Once they find it, they will continue using that product. They will not change very easily until they go to somebody else's house. They try it, they like it, and then like, oh, where did you buy it from? And then they will buy it. So another thing we found that not only should you target the retail stores, which is the general, target societies. Target societies, because that's where, like, in the evening you have a lot of like people going over to the other place, connecting,
Yeah.
or like just coming down with a cup of tea and just like, I don't know, in Bengali they call it atta.
Hmm.
They're having that time. So that's where, like, if we see we can manage to target that, it sells more. At least the trust starts getting built, and it'll expand, because it cannot go into, it has to be a community thing.
Yeah.
So that was one experience that I'm currently really enjoying working on, and it's very insightful also for me.
Themselves. And that is that is a very important segment which every brand builder should consider. No one is able to relate with something that looks too fine, because nothing is. Not, it's too good to be true. And then after some time, seeing an advertisement, buying that product, and after realizing that the function it said and the function it makes are two different segments, it's a complete disconnect. And long term value is like that when you basically give something very, very much transparently. People are able to, and people do not want one product to solve all their problems. They do not want that. They want one product to solve at least one problem, but should solve that problem.
Properly.
Yes, properly. You solve one problem for me, but at least solve that problem. How D2C brands generally are doing a very wrong mistake. One product is doing everything. It is being told that this does everything. It's being a motor oil, it's being a hair oil, it's being a shampoo, it's being a toothpaste, it's being a detergent. And then two, three things are coming soon. One product is doing this. And at the end function, the real use case, the product is doing neither of it correctly. So, of course, people get to understand, and everyone's brain gets to understand, okay, it's just a marketing fluff. So I cannot purchase it. After you spend your money, the next time you will not recommend it. You'll probably tell your people as well.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. It's just hype. So, like, I have a, a thing which I'd like to ask you, Narmada. As you mentioned that you already have been in the D2C industry, and how do you think that the consumer behavior has actually evolved with time in comparison to when you started this journey? Whereas, how is it now in today's time?
Uh, the biggest difference actually would be AI, because with D2C, what AI has enabled is very quick um, image generation, messaging. Now everything looks the same, feels the same, and you can understand. So, what I have realized while talking to customers or like potential customers and even brands, it has kind of kicked back a new set of wanting to see raw content. The more raw it is, the more trust level is increasing. Like if it's polished, they like, even if it's not AI, it's like done with a proper photo shoot or something, but it has that polished level. You're always thinking, is this AI? So is this real, or is this? So they're asking this, and then they will go check like the credibility of the brand and all that. So this is something I've seen them do. And surprisingly, the most unusual case where I was seeing comments after comments on this, it's a little off topic, but like the picture of Ranveer Singh and Deepika Padukone's daughter was revealed. And it was so polished that everyone was like, is she real? It has got to that level where like credibility has like shot off. So I just feel that that has been, it's like a good change, I would say,
Sure.
for from customer perspective.
Okay.
Narmada,
So, the one of the most interesting thing about consumer behavior that has changed recently has been
Right.
due to AI. Surprisingly, because AI, the amount of content that is coming out using AI, be it image generation, be it messaging, using ChatGPT, Cloud, anything, Gemini, people's question every time they see, like, is this AI, is this real, they go check like the handles, they check the business profile, like to believe, like, you should we even be able to buy from it, is this existing even, or just any stuff. So what they have started preferring is raw content, which is
Right.
from a like a business perspective, it's much simpler to create. It's like you're giving raw stuff. They do not want like a full studio setup and all that. It's someone walking on the road and talking. That is preferred. Or like a quick catch, like, hey, what would you say? Like inside teams.
Yeah.
That's the raw level they wanted, which I
Yeah.
find a big, nice shift.
Hmm. Hmm. That unpolished.
Yes.
Hmm.
And of course, you would see multiple founders, even D2C founders, and I've been seeing this very much at places on social media. These founders themselves, and that time is gradually getting faded where there used to be a founder who is unapproachable. There is a team which is unapproachable. There is just a product which you just get to see on shelves. The only connection you as a customer can make is with that product on the shelf. Now people really want to listen to who the team is. What are
Hmm.
the views of that team, opinions of that team? Who's the founder? And we want the founder to speak. We do not want someone who's just seated there as a mannequin. We want to see the real values the person is bringing to the table. And that way the trust factor comes up even. I recently saw multiple these founders. So a guy and a girl, two from completely different brands, different product lines, all that went on streets with their products, themselves became salesmen, asking people the challenges they have been facing. One was supporting a male product, the guy, versus the woman delivering a female product. Going one by one to random people out there, asking them, what is your view about it? And the moment if they realize that, okay, their product can actually fix this challenge of theirs, they simply give that product to them without the payment. Because if it is sales, the person never asked that he or she wants to fix this first. But if you were able to fix it, how about give it a try? And that
Mhm.
way, people are able to actually put, and then, of course, these people who got approached by this space will now go up, put that content out there as the end user, which will once again create trust. You got to see, okay, this person is for real approachable. I have spoken to this person face to face. I have shook hands with this person face to face. And then the opinion, the conversation which this end user will bring to the internet is what people want to see. People may not once again relate with the content this founder may post, but will people will do relate with the content this end user reported and posted that I met this person, I got approached by this person. This was something told him or her, and this is what this person gave. That's where, and there are even high chances after using that product, they would come up with something telling, this really worked. Last month I met this person here, and so was the story. People will for real relate with it. Being approachable is a very important factor which earlier wasn't there in the landscape. There used to be someone non-approachable. The only connect which a person could have made was just a product and the shelves.
I feel higher the product price, be it especially around service, because usually like the service charges are higher than a product, at least the ones I have dealt with. The more impact a founder like presenting themselves on media
Yeah.
and being like being visible makes a difference.
Indeed. Which makes people feel at least there is no specific hierarchy. Instead, the person is building with us and we are being heard.
Yeah.
So it is being made for us instead of it is being made
Yeah.
for whom they know.
Right.
So that way it does create that flexibility, that approach, that yes, we're able to feel, touch, look, listen to this person.
Yeah.
Um, let's start with that and briefly.
Yeah, we were talking a lot about community building. Like, do you have a framework or do you have a more sure shot process that could be like reapplied easily to build community? What is community? Like, what would be what is the size? How does
Hmm.
it play? Things like that. More insight on that.
Okay. So now coming on the segment, it is different. It works different for every other product because a community for a brand which is more of a value driven will be completely different versus a brand which is more of a desire driven, a luxury brand will be completely different. But there's a common roadmap which we built, my team and I basically built in house as our signature framework, which we call it as our Blink Spring. Okay. Where the term blinks, as it is a part of our brand name too. So blinks basically stands for the first thing, brand challenge. What is the brand challenge? Secondly, the L stands for the losses and limitations you as a customer are able to feel in there. What issues you are facing if this issue is not being fixed. And then the term I comes with the ideal future state you have in your head. This is your desired destination you really want to touch if you have a specific timeline for that, or maybe you won't, but you for sure have an ideal future state you want to reach here. Then comes the N, which is the navigation strategy. If you are right here, you want to reach here. What is the way? You come from here to here, the navigation strategy. And then the market research perspective is completely backing this whole navigation strategy, which makes the K, that is key impact points. What all touch points? Either it is about your GTM strategy, either it is about your design angles, either it is about your messaging and verbal communication. Is it about your web experience? What section needs the best of diagnosis, the best of correction? Because all these loopholes slowly and steadily need to be fixed in order to make you reach from stage 1 to stage 2. And then the S in the term Blink stands for scalability and success. And that's where when you reach that section, you're able to slow and steadily scale because now you have much more confidence to the way you work earlier. Secondly, you have a stronger, improved positioning. So when you have a better clarity to your customer, you're more confident. When you are more confident, you're able to show up better, which improves your growth, your revenue. And then people are able to relate that, okay, you are running parallel with time, with change. Instead, coming up with an approach back from 2015 in 2025. So you're running parallel with time. And this is what I generally utilize, which is our in-house built Blink framework in order to touch base all of these fixes.
That covers everything.
Indeed. And it does help in all of our segments. Like even if it is about design, the same framework, a different workflow, but a same framework. The methodology is completely same. Addressing all of these segments step by step does help us very well. But on the very same aspect, when you mentioned about a segment of community building, so I'm sure that it gave you a much more clear picture to the question. And when you mentioned about another section, when you were talking about decisions earlier, and I generally have this quick question that brand identity is something which is taken as a myth.
Hmm.
People consider brand identity as just something which is visual. Are there any scenarios where you basically have come across where you would have seen that, okay, these have been quite tough calls for you, where people have misunderstood brand identity? And what has been your roadmap, or what has been your way to actually nurture the decision making of that end customer? Because there is one crystal clear thing. People aren't able to understand how design actually pays off.
Hmm.
A crystal segment, a very crystal clear segment. This is great design. How will it pay? So, what is your take on that? How valuable design identity, brand identity is? How it is different individually with design and other elements it holds.
Other
Elements it holds.
of very apt question, I would say. So clients in general don't understand brand identity. And earlier, when I used to work or even talk to clients or pitch ideas, at any stage, I used to try to explain what it means, what it would do to them. But I've seen that most people don't care. In simplest words, they don't care about it. They want the end result. So, do this. I do the entire identity, which they do not understand, but only when it gets reflected in their final content. Like maybe, let's say, it can be a social media post. It could be a lead magnet, like an ebook that they're using for their paid ads, which they need.
Hmm.
It goes to that level. But it's the identity that is actually guiding and has, like, has created all the guidelines to be able to create this. When you create that, and you and that goes, it's like it's a convincing game. You convince them, let's do this. No, they usually like identity has a lot to do with colors. They're used to their industry colors. They will not want to step out from it. But then you will convince them that no, this is not something you will merge in. You will like completely, like, you won't be able to stand out. So let's go with this set of colors. It looks off, but give it time. You will get used to the colors. And in fact, there will come a point of time when you will get bored of the colors because you're seeing it on a daily basis. It's just about habits. So when you tell them that, oh yes, it's true. And then they see that yes, in general, it is looking good. That's where they'll understand. And then when the product gets made, the colors have been applied, the messages, the tone, and everything of the identity has been implemented, and it goes to a customer, and the customer understands it. They will understand the difference between a well presented deck versus just a deck that has been put up together. Because that deck, they will cross check their social media, they will cross check the website, they will see it, and they'll be like, okay, I can see the same thing. It, like, they will not be able to pinpoint exactly, like, okay, I'm seeing the same green, or I'm seeing the same design angle, like, the lines of the angle. They will not be able to see that, but they will be able to feel that I'm in the same environment. And when they come back, it's like, okay, the sales happen, or they will say, it has been very well decorated. I liked how you have presented everything. I like the experience you have given me. That's when they will be like, okay, it worked.
Yeah.
So it's just more, I feel it's a game of hand holding when it comes to brand identity. One, don't tell them it's brand identity. It alienates them. Just tell them, trust me in the process. Trust me in the designing aspects. You have the business. I will take care of the designing. Trust me on that. And that's how it has worked for me. Okay.
Hmm.
Do
I
you
completely
like?
together. What is your take on this, Priya?
Mhm.
Do you have you ever faced such issues?
I think there is, up until a point, there is a fine line between what the founder wants and what the brand strategist and brand designer can actually provide. Because ultimately, they are paying you for what they want, right? But then there reaches a time in their whole journey where they understand that what I want is not the beneficial outcome. Just like how you're saying, Narmada, that trust me, I understand that this looks off now, but it'll work out. That trust factor, to be able to build that within yourself is really a great. First of all, like hats off if you're able to convince clients based off trusting you. That's a great point. And secondly, to be able to make the right calls and make the right choices when it comes to the visual aspect, because ultimately, even though it's a whole package, the first touch point that somebody has of the brand is visual and identity. So to be able to say that, I need to push away my feelings and my bias and solely work on research and the statistics of how the outcome of this product is going to be, it completely changes the game. So very interesting. Lots of interesting insights from all of us, I think,
Yeah.
in this whole conversation. Especially we've gone on different divergence with, I learned a lot about D2C and understanding how tea brands and apparel brands work together and separately.
Hoping that tea doesn't spill on the apparel. Otherwise, some
Yeah.
detergent brands even will come into play.
Yes.
Yeah.
Surf excel.
So that's it.
Oh,
And
sorry.
nowadays, multiple products are acting onto multiple. One product is acting onto multiple functions, as we
Yes.
discussed.
Yes.
A
Yes.
toothpaste can be a detergent and
Mm-hmm.
multiple wow.
Mm-hmm.
I did see such a product on that,
Really?
which actually was playing eight roles. One product actually playing eight roles.
Uh, a toothpaste.
I actually saw a product which was playing eight plus roles, which included that of a toothpaste as well.
Wow.
I'll for sure show you that sometime soon, the moment I get it.
Okay.
But it was really a nice conversation, and I'd like to thank Narmada for your time very, very much on this show with us, and Rheanne, your time and energy with us too. So, with this, I'd like to conclude today's episode by winding up all these insights, where we'll be meeting with more insights, more conversations, and next week with a fresh speaker. So thank you very much for staying tuned with Till Talks, and have a good day.
Thank you.